All right, friends, it's T-Man, and I'm back with a brand new video. And guess who? It's on our good friend JasonBlaha, Strength and Fitness Man, the gym, lifting, recruiting, fitness gear slave himself. We're going to react to JasonBlaha's video. This is going to be an interesting video. JasonBlaha says, how to gain muscle fast. Oh, I can't wait.
How do we gain muscle quickly? Hey, everybody, it's JasonBlaha here. I thought I would answer this. This is something...
Yes, how do we gain it quickly, Blaha? Please do tell. Oh, my God, he's one. He's one to tell us.
That I actually get is an extremely common question. It's a question I see people asking actually all over social media and fitness pages.
Yeah, but didn't you give out already how to build muscle? You've given it out on I think 1,200 videos or whatever. You have like, I don't know. No, what do you have? Like 12,000 videos. How many videos does it take for Blaha to tell you how to build muscle? 12,000 videos? Bro, come on.
Literally new people are like, look, how do we gain muscle fast?
Yeah.
Do we need to...
Just look at Blaha's videos. There's 12,000 of them telling you how to build muscle. So why do you need to ask Blaha this question?
Bulk more? What do we need to do? Do we need to just train more? And the reality is, I know those aren't necessarily the answers.
Those aren't the answers? Bulking, training more? But didn't you say training more and bulking and all that kind of stuff? You're supposed to do that? That's how you build muscles?
So the answer is definitely not bulking more.
Why not?
Okay, and the evidence...
You said it was before. You always claim bulking, training harder, and doing all these weird things.
For that is non-existent.
So now it's
when
not.
You look at most of
so now he's changed his mind. It's bulking's out. So just training harder?
the studies, a big calorie surplus just makes you gain fat.
Oh, really?
Just makes you gain fat. It will make you gain.
So he admits that bulking just makes you makes you fat. Doesn't build muscle, bulking. So why are people bulking if it makes you fat?
Some strength through the leverages, the extra body fat, but you're not necessarily going to gain muscle.
The extra body fat gives you strength for what? Leverages? What are you talking about? The extra weight on your body weighing you down against gravity will increase your muscle mass. What an idiot. Why do you think people are wearing weighted vests walking around, or the army get people to run up and down hills with like backpacks that weigh like 70 pounds or something? Come on, man.
Faster.
Use your brain. You have a brain, don't you?
In fact, unless you're lean already, like if you're at a body fat that's a little squishy at all, you probably don't even need to gain any weight to gain muscle. That's just a reality, and the data supports that.
Look, if I so much as gain 20 pounds, that's a lot. My mattress, there's going to be a hole in my mattress, and I will notice it. I'll notice even being heavier because it's weighing down on my entire body. And so my entire body has to adjust by doing what? The bones and everything. They have to adjust because, man, I'm walking around 24 hours. I'm carrying that weight around 24 hours, that extra 20 pounds. Whether it's muscle or whether it's fat, you're still carrying more weight. The bigger you get, the more weight you get, the bigger you get. I think people just don't understand this. Why do you think eccentric overload is superior to concentric? Because you can handle heavier loads eccentrically than you could concentrically. Do you understand me, man? And so what's that going to do? It's going to make you bigger and stronger. Get it? So every time you gain weight on your body, muscle, fluid, fat, whatever it is you're gaining, that is going to weigh you down with gravity. That is going to expand the MND size. You understand me? It's going to do it automatically. It has to. It has to. It's being forced to.
We were fairly lean. If you're lean enough to have a six-pack, it's different. But if not, you may not need to gain weight. And I'm not saying some of you skinnier guys shouldn't gain a little bit of weight as you go. Not necessarily a bad thing. But
I don't know.
Keep in mind, you're just going to...
Is it a bad thing to just gain fat, gain weight? No, I don't think you should be doing that.
Your fat gain. That's actually not going to make you gain muscle faster. You don't need to just bulk. That's not necessary. A lot of times guys are like, do I need to just train more? Should I do tons of volume? All this stuff is showing this stuff with high volume. No, that's not even really it either. In fact, I've had many novice lifters who were kind of...
Like I said, the bigger you get, the bigger you shall keep getting. See what I mean? Big people, why are big people so big? Because of the weight they're carrying in gravity. See what I mean? They added more weight by eating. They eat a lot, gravity, all that kind of stuff. So here's the thing. We know that like Hathor Bjornsson, when he did that heavy lift, he had to put on, he says, I put on a lot of weight. He did. He put on a lot of garbage weight, but he still increased his muscle by carrying all that weight without having to lift to build muscle. And so he was a lot stronger to lift to whatever, to deadlift that weight, whatever, and that thing he did. You get the idea?
Look, they weren't getting stronger, they weren't really getting bigger, and they were doing 20 plus sets per week. It's not really the way. I'm going to say a couple of key points, really the key. Number one, you have to keep in mind you're never going to gain muscle fast. I'm sorry, that's just the reality.
Well, you can gain muscle fast. It depends on how much you can eat after a damaging session and how much damage you occurred in that session. I don't know how much damage you're creating. I try not to waste my time. I do full upper body one day and then lower the next day. That could be difficult for some people. So I do an eccentric overload on my whole upper body on the day. That takes me sometimes even just not overworking the muscle eccentrically, concentrically, but just even when I'm doing an overload, because I'm trying to go faster now. I'm trying to get more quicker. That's still going to take me 3 hours, at least a minimum 3 hours in the gym. See what I mean? When I was younger, I can complete these things in probably 2 hours, but I'm older and I need more rest in between. But like I said, it depends on you. And then you go and eat astronomically a lot.
It takes years to really put on significant amounts of muscle, but that...
He's lying. It would take you years if you didn't put in the effort, if you didn't damage the way you were supposed to, or even eat the way you're supposed to. Of course, it's going to take you longer. Everything takes you longer when you don't put in effort. You understand me? Listen to me. China was behind technologically, everything. But guess what? They're ahead now. You want to know why? Because they keep pushing forward. That's why the world is afraid of China, because they're like, hey, they're moving so fast. They are. See what I mean? In the beginning, they moved kind of slow, but then they moved faster. They're moving faster.
Time is going to pass anyway, so always keep that in mind. When I say that, it's not to deter you, it's to say that you have to be thinking about the long haul, okay? You got to think about the long haul. You guys just watched me squat 500 pounds there. I can assure you, most of you, that's going to take some time. Now, granted, I'm an old man, so for the younger guys chiming in who are unaware, I'm almost 50 years old. Yeah.
He's a liar. He takes steroids to lift those weights. You understand me? That's what he does. So he's lying. It's not him doing it.
You still saw me squatting 500 pounds.
I don't care.
So, but the thing is, muscle gain's a slow process.
Blaha doesn't squat 500 pounds. It's a lie. He does not squat because he does not squat eccentrically. He squats concentrically, those squats. So it's not a full squat. He's a liar. He could never squat 500 pounds eccentrically, and I know many people that cannot do that. There's many of them, and Blaha's one of them.
It's a slow process, and you have to accept that. Number one, you have to accept that it's a slow process, and that will teach you that you have to be...
See, when you listen to people like Blaha, you have to accept it. You have to accept it's a slow process, because I'm Blaha, I failed. I'm Blaha, and I failed. In my entire life, I've been failing, and I'm still failing.
Be patient. You have to be consistent.
Yeah, sure.
But remember, that time is going to pass.
Yeah, you have to be patient and consistent. Yeah, sure, okay.
Pass either way. So if you want to get big, you might as well start putting in the work now and be consistent with it. And you should probably do so efficiently and effectively, okay? Definitely a good idea, because like I said, the time's going to pass either way, so let's just get the most out of it. And I think that's really the reality most people are looking for. I think most people looking for real info probably have realized by now there's not really a lot of shortcuts. So how can we just get there at all?
You know, that's funny. I heard that in a gym a while back. These kids were coming in, and they were coming in from school working out together, and they said that. Are there any tricks? No, bro, there's not. Is there some magic thing or trick? No. The thing is, you just don't understand the difference between eccentric and concentric. You don't understand that. And isometric. Nobody understands eccentric, isometric, concentric. You understand me? The first two are eccentric. The initiating is eccentric, and dropping it is eccentric. It's only when you get to the isometric and then you move for concentric, that's when it's concentric. And a lot of people misunderstand that. And so they're all shooting for concentric lifting as opposed to eccentric lifting. That's why we call it eccentric overload. It means we do not go past the isometric part. You understand me? We do not go past that for the full concentric. Why is that? Regardless whether we can lift it or not. Here's the thing. Whether we can't make it for a full concentric or not, we do not make it because we're eccentrically lifting. So all the tension is in the eccentric. Because why? Because we want to cause muscle damage. You understand me? That's the whole point. We stay there. We don't go past isometric into concentric lifting because we don't want to ass cheek squeeze our muscles. All the mechanical tension must be eccentrically. So it's all at the bottom.
Okay, how do we go about just making it happen?
That's how you make it happen.
Number one, you don't necessarily.
This is how you make it happen. Understand the difference between eccentric and concentric. Once you understand that, you'll have an idea how to effing work out. Get it, man? Yeah, bro.
Need to bulk. Not saying some people wouldn't benefit from it. By and large, what people are thinking of as a bulk necessary. Very slow gain or even recomposition. But we'll get to nutrition in a minute. The real key is the training. Because that's always going to be key. Nutrition will optimize it, but the training is what stimulates it. So, are you training hard enough? And by hard, I don't mean are you doing a bunch of triple drop sets on concentration curls. That's not training hard. How hard are you training on the big exercises? And I'm not telling you not to do curls.
See, how hard are you training on the big exercises?
I do curls, I do tricep work, I do delt work. I isolate plenty of stuff. I isolate my quads,
Sure
we isolate stuff. Yeah, absolutely. As finishers at the very end of your workout. Stuff. Yeah, absolutely.
We isolate stuff. Does Blaha even understand what he's talking about?
As finishers at the very end of your workout. Okay? Your big lifts. Are you pushing them hard? Are you pushing them heavy? Are you pushing them with progressive overload? Are you making sure that you get stronger week to week on those? Especially if you're starting out, things like your squats, your deadlifts, your bench presses, your pull-ups, your rows. Okay, the bread and butter. Maybe pull-ups, maybe not weighted. Maybe you're having to use a machine assist or a reverse band still. Are you adding reps, right? We've got to be making progress. You have to be progress oriented. We have to be getting stronger on those big exercises, which means you're either adding weight or adding reps. So you have to train them hard and with decent form. I'm not telling you to bounce weights. Notice all my pressing is paused. My deadlifts, we use good technique. We reset each rep. Squats controlled. I'm telling you, use good form, but you have to train hard and you have to have progressive overload. When it comes to the other things like the curls and the smaller movements, are you taking them through an effective range of motion? Are you controlling the weight? Are you taking...
Yeah, you need progressive overload. Do you need to progressively overload the concentric? Or do you need to progressively overload the eccentric to get stronger, bigger, and stronger? Get it? If you do concentric lifting, you just got better at concentrically lifting. But how do you get better at eccentric lifting? You get bigger, you get stronger. That's how, duh. Hello?
Until they
McFly.
reach close.
Hello, McFly.
Failure or reach muscle failure. Are you taking them to where you can't do another rep without form breaking down? To where, I'm not telling you to cheat and do crappy reps. Are you taking them to at least fatigue or to momentary muscle failure? Early on, when you're still learning, can you learn how to feel where failure is? You probably need to do some of that. You got to train hard, guys. Okay, you have to train hard. You'll see me take these band curls to failure. That's the last exercise of the day for me, by the way. That same workout I did.
You don't have to. And these bands are a waste of time. See, he's just wasting your time, our time, his time. He's crazy.
Pull-ups, I did 2 types of rows. I did a couple different types of curls first. Then we finished with the bands. You got to take them till they fail. And you can't. I couldn't do another rep there. That's what we mean. Okay? Don't train with too much volume. Unless you have built the work capacity, you don't need probably more than about 10 sets a week. Most of you novice guys, minimum of 5 really, really, really hard sets per muscle group per week, up to about 10. I can tell you right now, as a novice, 10 hard sets a week on every muscle group, you will grow. You will absolutely grow. Even 6 to 10, if they're high quality sets. But I would aim closer to 10. What do you mean by 10 sets? Maybe, I don't know, maybe 3 sets of bench press, 3 sets of incline, 3 sets of flies, 3 or 4 sets of flies after. That's a perfect example.
See, this is what happens when you meet somebody that doesn't understand what they're talking about. They don't know anything about bodybuilding, about lifting, bodybuilding, nothing. Nothing. He absolutely knows nothing. It's crazy.
Taken hard with progressive overload. Okay? Are you hitting everything from a couple different angles? You're using a good range of motion? Are you making sure you're stimulating the muscles? So the big movements, you need to be progressing. We need to be getting strong on those big barbell movements. All this other stuff, we need to be seeing progress. You need to be training hard. You need to be training through decent ranges of motion under control. Okay? Probably around 10 sets a week. Most of you will not benefit if you do not have a massive work capacity and a great lifestyle. You probably don't need to be doing 20 sets. You may be more than you can handle. You may not recover effectively. I'm just telling you the reality. Okay, that's number one. Number two, come to all your recovery stuff. Biggest keys to gaining muscle then, good nutrition, quality nutrition. Not telling you supplements or anything. I'm telling you eat real foods, whole foods, meat.
Yeah, eat real foods, whole foods. Yeah, we know all this stuff. Did he actually tell you how to build muscle? Come on, man. Did he tell you how to gain muscle fast? What he told you in this video, guess what he told you? He told you that you can't gain muscle. You understand me? He told you the opposite of what you want to hear. He says, you're not going to gain it fast. You're not going to gain anything. And then he gives you a runaround.
Dairy, eggs, grains, fruits, vegetables, whole foods, guys. Focus on that. Make sure you get plenty of protein.
See? Grains.
Eat clean, eat healthy, eat plenty of it, eat enough to at least sustain your body weight.
Yes.
All right, and last but not least, try to get 8 hours of sleep every night. Make that a priority. In fact, if you're like, I really want to...
But he didn't tell you how to build muscle. I'll see you in the next one. Tell us what you think about that. Like, subscribe, support the channel. I told you he's a fake guru, bro. He's a fake whatever. Blaha's faking it to make it.